Most engineers can design a basic heat exchanger, but when you are faced with a pinch where the thermodynamics simply won't let you match streams without violating the delta T minima, most people get stuck. Today, we are not just doing a basic design, I am going to show you the secret to heat exchanger network design, which is stream splitting, and we will be doing this using Aspen Energy Analyzer and with the help of Excel. By the end of this video, you will be able to hit your energy targets perfectly every single time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemical Engineering and Aspen channel. In our today's video, we will design a heat exchanger network using Aspen Energy Analyzer. We will go step by step in which we will first define the process streams, then we will import the data into Aspen Energy Analyzer, utility targeting, pinch analysis, and finally full heat exchanger network design using stream splitting concept. So let's start the video. So this is the streams data that has been provided to us, and the streams are H1, H2, C1, C2. That represents there are two hot streams and two cold streams in the process. We have been given the supply temperature and the final temperature of these streams that are 250 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade for H1, whose Cp is 0.15, and the delta H or the heat load is 31.5 megawatt. For H2, it is from 200 to 80 degrees centigrade with a Cp of 0.25 and the delta H is 30 megawatt. For the cold streams, the first cold stream is from 20 to 180 degrees centigrade. The value of Cp is 0.2 and the delta H is 32 megawatt. For C2, it is from 140 to 230 degrees centigrade with a Cp of 0.3 and the delta H is 27 megawatt. So our first thing was that we needed our data, which we have got. Everything starts with correct streams data. If this is wrong, your entire heat exchanger network will be wrong. So we will now move to Aspen Energy Analyzer and we will see how we can add our data and do our stream splitting and heat exchanger network design. So coming to Aspen Energy Analyzer, we will start by entering our process streams. We have two hot streams that need cooling and two cold streams that need heating. So H1, H2, we will use this nomenclature C1 and C2, and from Excel we have already this data, so we will copy it and directly paste it. Now we have been given the heat load in megawatt, that is 31.5 megawatt, 30 megawatt, 32 megawatt and 27 megawatt. So 31.5 megawatt, 30 megawatt, these are for hot streams, while 32 megawatt and 27 megawatt for cold streams. If we open the targets, we can see that for delta T minimum of 10 degrees centigrade, the heating requirement is 7500 kilowatt, while that of the cooling requirement is 10,000 kilowatt. The hot pitch temperature is 150 degrees centigrade, while the cold pitch temperature is 140 degrees centigrade. The heating and cooling are definitely insufficient because we have not yet added the utility streams. For this, we will come here and we will add the utility streams. Let's say if we add LP stream, it is insufficient. If we add MP stream, still insufficient. Going to HP stream and it will now be sufficient. For cold stream, we will add the cooling water. So both these streams are now sufficient and the data is now available. Now we will go to this heat exchange network diagram and we will first divide the system at pinch. So clicking on this and the system is now divided. Now we will use the Excel sheet to first analyze how we can do the calculations or how we can do the stream matching. So first thing is to ensure that we follow the above pinch system. So for this, we need to change the final temperatures of hot stream while the inlet temperatures of cold streams. So the outlet temperature is 150 degrees centigrade for both hot streams, while the 140 degrees centigrade for cold stream. C2 is already at 140, so it will be entirely above pinch. These two streams, H1, H2, these will be partially above pinch from 250 to 150 degrees centigrade and from 150 to 40 degrees centigrade below pinch. This one 200 to 150 above pinch and 150 to 80 below pinch. C1 20 to 140 below pinch while 140 to 180 above pinch. Now our first rule is that number of hot streams are equal to number of cold streams. So this rule is okay. Now if we look at this system, H1 can match or can heat exchange with C1 because Cp of hot stream should be less than equal to Cp of cold stream and similarly can be matched with C2. But accordingly, if we see for H2, it can be connected with C2, but it cannot be connected with C1. Now, this is a big problem for our system. So what we need to do, earlier we have solved this video and we demonstrated that without stream splitting, we can do it. But today we are specifically focusing on the stream splitting. So first thing, if we need splitting, obviously we need to split the hot stream because its Cp is higher. So what I will do, I will create one more row and I will simply copy paste the data and I will say it as H21 and this one as H22 and the CPs will be 0.125 equally divided between these two. Now this issue is resolved, CP issue is resolved, but there is another issue that now number of hot streams are higher than number of cold streams. So our first rule is violated. So what we need to do now? For this, we need to obviously split the cold stream, but which one of them? Obviously, we cannot split this C1 because of the fact that it will again create the same issue. So we need to split the stream C2. For this, we can say it as C21 and C22 and 0.15 and 0.15. Now you can see you can connect any stream with anyone without having CP issue. Our first rule, number of hot stream should be greater than equal, should be less than equal to is verified. And now if we connect H1 with C1, okay, even H1 with C2, C1 and C2 dash 2, okay, H21 and H22 with C1 or C2 both are okay. So this is this problem is resolved. Now we will go back to Aspen Energy Analyzer and for this we need to apply this add split on our streams which is H2 and C2. Now it's better to connect or do a connection between these streams. So we will click on this add heat exchanger. Now if we go back to Excel, this H21 has a heat capacity requirement or transfer rate of 6.25 megawatt, while C21 can get up to 13.5 megawatt. So it means that H21 going with C21, double click on it, tied. This one is also tied. It can go up to a maximum of 150 degrees centigrade and the final temperature is 181.7 degrees centigrade. Similarly, tying H22 with C22 in the same fashion, 150 degrees centigrade, 140 degrees centigrade, and outer temperature for both these streams is 181.7 degrees centigrade. Accordingly, these two streams are now utilized. These do not exist in the system, while for these two streams, the load is left as 7.25 megawatt. H1 can transfer heat with C1, but obviously it will have to go with C2 as well. So what we need to do now, we need to do the connection between H1 and C1 first to eliminate C1 from the system, and it is from 140 degrees centigrade to 180 degrees centigrade, and starting temperature is 250 degrees centigrade while the ending temperature is 196.7 degrees centigrade, still above the system. However, I would suggest that you start here with 150 degrees centigrade and here the temperature is 203.3. It is because of the fact that the other stream is from 181.7 to 230. So it will avoid our temperature cross. You can obviously check in the system, and then we will connect this heat exchanger to this part from 203.3 to 250 and 181.7, and you can see the delta T is positive on both ends. If we have adopted the other pattern, you would have seen that delta T violation at that site. So now you can see with these connections, the heat load of this one is also satisfied. This stream has also eliminated from the system, and now only C2 is left, whose total load is 7500 kilowatt. So for this, we need to do the connection with the utility stream, which is HP stream, and accordingly tying it, and we get 7500 kilowatt duty. So this is the stream splitting principle which we have applied in the above pinch system. Now, if we copy paste it again, and let's take it here, and we need to change now the supply temperature of hot stream and target temperature or final temperature of cold stream. Now we need to see that C2 is now eliminated from the system. So accordingly, it will be 150, it will be 150, it will be 140. So now you can see H1, H2, C1. So number of hot streams are greater than number of cold streams. First rule is satisfied. What is the second rule? That the Cp of hot should be greater than or equal to Cp of cold. But if you remember, we have already studied that this rule can be violated if the delta T minimum violation is not there, or if delta T minimum on both ends is greater, or delta T is greater than delta T minimum. So what we need to do, we will first do the connection between H1 and C1, because that is the problematic part. So doing the connection between H1 and C1 here, and 150 to 40 degrees centigrade, and tying it with 20. So it has gone from 20 to 102.5 degrees centigrade. And both ends, here it is 47.5 degrees centigrade, here it is 20 degrees centigrade. Our delta T minimum was 10, way above, so that is now acceptable. And then doing the connection with H2 and C1, so 150 degrees centigrade, 102.5 and 140, because the unknown will be the hot outlet temperature, because the cold will be completely consumed. So the hot outlet temperature is 120 degrees centigrade. Now to take it from 120 to 80 degrees centigrade, we need to do the connection with the utility. So what we need to do, we need to do the connection here, and again we will tie these. Calculations are okay, and you can see this whole network has been designed now without any error. We have applied the stream splitting principle where possible, and we have done the connections as well. So let me tell you something very important. Software does not design networks. Engineers do. Tools like Aspen Energy Analyzer only assist, but understanding pinch, splitting, and energy targeting is what makes you different. If you found this video useful, like the video, comment pinch so that I can provide you the Excel sheet, and subscribe, because next I will show you advanced HEN optimization cases used in industry. What Aspen Energy Analyzer topic should I cover next? Let me know in the comments. So till then, it's goodbye. Stay tuned for more exciting videos on this channel.